Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. I got Tran in the building. I got Karen in the building. Hopefully, everybody can hear us clearly. But we are here to discuss Texas Big 12 opening victory, 38-6 over the Baylor Bears. Went to Waco and beat their ass. I'm gonna start there and really play it up to what a number three team in the country should look like, in my opinion, on the road. And we're gonna discuss here in the chat. See everybody tapping in, guys. Remember, as you check in, hit the like button for me. Subscribe, especially now that you guys get to support one of your favorite YouTube channels in an era where we're actually good. We have a good product, right? Y'all been with me in the dark days, so y'all got to turn up in the good days, all right? And the good days seem to be here, folks. Tran, I'll start with you, man, because I know we don't have you for very long. How you doing, and what'd you see tonight?
First, I think we should start off with like something of maybe you scrolling through the thumbnails of like the progression of our pissed off faces of the reaction videos, because I get pictures from that all the time. Like, y'all look sad here. So, it was a dominant performance. It was something that we wanted to see. It was something that we knew we had in us. My son was talking to me about it. I was just telling him, you don't play with your food. Just go ahead, get out there, dominate, jump on them from the get-go, and that's what they did. It started with, I think, the first play of the game, they got a little screen pass, but then we got two consecutive sacks. They couldn't really drive the ball down the field apart from maybe like one or two kind of big plays. We hit on big plays. Jatavian Sanders with an amazing one-handed catch over the middle. Jonathan Brooks with a saved slip screen pass with a one-handed catch. Jonathan Brooks had continued his
Tran,
great play.
Tran,
What's up?
you see the question on the screen?
What's
You know why they're asking you that, right?
because I called the like the 70 yards on or over 70 yards for Jatavian and also
And the pick for Jalen
yeah, the pick.
Ford.
It's like Mystic back, baby. I predict these things. Yeah. I just I felt like Jalen Ford has been due. He's been dropping into coverage very well. He dropped one against Alabama. He from a linebacker that I've seen at Texas. He's the best at baiting people and just thinking that they could drop it down over the middle. And I mean, he did exactly that at the goal line. That was the most important thing of this game that I really enjoyed, was the fact that we had pride and we didn't want to let them score a touchdown at all, and we didn't.
Yeah.
They were pushed back against in the red zone twice by our special teams, and we gave up one field goal. Right. So I mean, just to see that mindset that, hey, we can go into. I know it's not hostile territory, but we could still go into a team that thinks that they're our rivals and shut them out, keep them out of the end zone. It's something that's so nice to see. It's like a weight lifted off my shoulders that I know we're going to be playing good football week in and week out.
Amen, brother. Amen. Especially with that defensive intensity. I'll pass it over to Karen, man. Karen, jump in here, man. What'd you see, brother?
Man, I mean, from the defensive side of the ball, like you talked about, like being like we were in two goal to goal situations and we gave up a grand total of 3 points out of those two. Yeah, you can't really ask for any better than that, to be honest with you, from our defense. I love the fact that like we're, I legitimately believe we're like a top 10 defensive type team right now. I think whenever you have the talent that we have on the defensive line and you look at how dominant they were against Alabama. You just hope it translates. Tonight it looked like there was two teams and two lines that just had no business being on the same field. From the very first snap, it was just like, dude, what can we do against this? And on the offensive side of the ball later on in the game, it was the same exact thing until we got a little tired late in the drive. But we'll talk about that later. Offensive execution was still kind of an issue today. But man, I mean, the standard that the defense has like held themselves to and is playing at, it makes this team so unbelievably hard to beat, especially in this conference, given all of the offensive issues around the conference right now. And when you look at Baylor, they're not a good team. They're
No.
not. They're not a good team whatsoever. You should have done that to Baylor. You should, like, honestly, I think like the conversation afterwards is like, you probably could have done worse, like even better. If you didn't give them the ball in their own territory 2 times, you would have done better. And the fact that in that area, when you do have 2 muff punts, the fact that the defense played so well that they picked up 1 first down and got a grand total of 3 points from those 2 different situations. That's elite. That's Georgia last year type stuff. We don't talk about that enough. It's just like, yeah, like we should be holding our players to that standard. And the fact that our defensive line can do that, the fact that we can rotate, the fact that we have true freshman Derek Williams out there making plays left, right, and center, that to me was the story of the night. Our defense is going to continue playing. And obviously, we knew that they were going to look good, but the fact that they looked that dominant against a bad team, I love it. I love it.
Thank you, Jordan S. for the super chat here. He said, "What's good, fellas? 2 muff punts from having no complaints, no real complaints. Nice to win and feel like they were never really threatened for a full 60 minutes." So, Jordan S., thank you, brother. I appreciate it. And as I kind of set where I want to go here, I felt as though it was refreshing to see us not play down to our competition. Especially from the beginning of the game. Even though I didn't feel I felt like our vibe offensively is still we can be too cool for school sometimes, and we just have this cool vibe overall before we really start to kick it into gear. And there was a certain point in that game that we'll talk about where I felt like Sark, and I tweeted it when it happened, felt like Sark just kind of said enough, and let's get rid of these guys, right? Like we don't need to have another Wyoming situation, right? But overall, in terms of handling business on the road, setting the tone physically, this is a physical football team. I mean, when you see from an intimidation factor, Sawyer Robertson, and I know he was limping around injured, and there's going to be discussion, I'm sure, on the Baylor side of, did they handle the quarterback thing the right way, or should they have gone to RJ earlier or whatever? But regardless, Baylor's known for outside zone. We shut all that down immediately. They weren't getting outside. The only way they were actually going to have to more so gap us, and that wasn't the move. You saw in short yardage situations with our defense, Tavondre Sweat, Byron Murphy, Alfred Collins. Eric was talking about Vernon Broughton being the most improved player on the team. There's validity to that because they're not just getting it done against the run. They're also pass rushing like maniacs. I mean, Jet Bush set the edge the beginning of the game and gets a sack like right out the gate. Like these are guys that are rotation guys for us, folks, that are out here making big ass plays to start a football game on the road. That's good. What more can you ask for? And to see that happen over and over when they do make a mistake. Look, Ryan Watts, okay, we sometimes, especially some guys that can really, really run, we're gonna have situations. But like Tran and Kieran highlighted, holding up in the red zone defense, outstanding job. Outstanding job. And the last thing I'll say offensively, I'm glad that we decided to take Jatavian Sanders out of the garage this week after just like not. To me, he's too good of a football player. He's one of your best football players on your team. He has to be featured, whether you're an 11 or 12 personnel. I personally think after today, we're a 12 personnel football team. That's one thing I feel like I kind of learned. They are going to play both, but I feel like to get us going, and for whatever reason, it just seems easier to start the game out of 12 for us. But eventually, Jonte getting a big catch down the middle. If we can block better with the perimeter guys, then yeah, we can earn some more snaps out there for the receivers. But overall, very impressive performance for Texas, even with the special teams issues. You want to see somebody go out there and set the tone and kick ass. We're here not talking about refs, right? You don't have to worry about the Big 12 refs because the game's not close.
Yeah.
So
the game shouldn't be close.
Nope. What aside from special teams, what would y'all have changed or would have seen differently?
So you were talking about 12 personnel, and this was like my kind of takeaway from it. So I think one of the biggest problems on the offensive side of the ball is the fact that we're just not winning on early downs. First and second down, it's tough, and we put ourselves in these obvious passing situations. The one thing that I would change in that situation, I want to see more like it's incredible how efficient Quinn is from empty, from 10 personnel sets or like one personnel sets whenever we just like have JT, we go out wide and it's just like no running back in the field. I he's really good at it's very South Lake esque if you watch him play in high school, and that's where I think he feels the most comfortable. So I hate whenever we just stick in like an 11 personnel set and we're running a 3-man route concept with the max protect on, and it's just like, well, if his first read's not really there, then he has to take off and run. You end up getting the scamper, as they were calling it, when you look like Quincy Young out there. Like I just don't. I'm not really a big fan of that. And honestly, I do want to see more aggression on early downs. And this overall, this was my one takeaway, right? And it's kind of like what I wanted to say like earlier. Offensively, I like to I'm gonna like compare it to boxing, right? Offensively, we're Terrence Crawford in terms of like what we have, right? But
Mhm.
but the way we approach it, it's almost like we need to get punched in the face to wake up, kind of like Terrence Crawford in most of his fights. It's like, oh, I'm like playing around with my food. I'm like, I might get cracked a couple times here or there. I'm gonna start off slow. I'm just gonna like make my reads, do whatever I have to do to end up like exploding later on. And the thing is, you get to that point. It's important that you get to that point. But I want to see us go out there like Terrence Crawford in the Errol Spence fight, where it's like, yo, straight up, I'm going to box you because I know fundamentally that's what I do better than you. I want to see us run the ball on first down more when you can push people around. I'm tired of seeing that only later on in the game. Like we don't have the capability of doing it earlier. And yes, I understand they get tired. The way we're playing complementary football adds to that. But brother, push them loops around. Push them around. Like 4 yards on first down would do so much good for you. So much good for you right now. The fact that we're always, it's never 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. Those ones we typically pick up pretty easily, especially against teams that we can run the ball against. It's the why are we in 3rd and 8? Why are we in 3rd and 10? Why are we in 3rd and 9? I don't like that. That's what causes these stalls to happen. And also, winning on first and second down, especially against inferior competition, why are we getting to 3 downs as much as we do?
Yeah, great
Play
point.
more aggressively. I don't like getting to 3 downs almost every single time we're going on a long drive. You've noticed the times where our offense is explosive. It's when we hit Jonte up the middle, like over the seam on a deep ball. It's when we hit Jatavian Sanders underneath after putting what's called Xavier on a deep crosser, and then he ends up running up the field for 40 more yards. Like it's when we have the explosive plays. It's when we take our shots downfield. I want to see more explosiveness from that standpoint. I love the way we play. I love the fact that we took what the defense gave us. They were running too high
Mm-hmm.
safety. They didn't want to give us any deep shots. But my thing is, Sark, I want more of an attack through the air. More like spread them out a little bit more, just a little bit more. That's my only thing. And maybe we're saving that for later because goodness gracious, this conference is bad. Like they're bad, like dog water bad, like bad. So I don't know. Maybe we're saving it for later. That's just what I want to see us improve on because I think all the tools are there for us to be just unbelievably elite.
So I'm going to answer Trent's question as well. Again, from a positive, we did not make a bad team feel good. We didn't give them confidence. Um, Look, this is the time where I think we can bring up the special teams issues, Trent. After the first off, I'm going to take responsibility for the Xavier Worthy punt, muff punt. Okay. That was my fault because I texted in the group chat that he has the safest hands of punt return and he's never muffing and all this type of stuff. And like a fucking clown, he fumbles. As soon as I say that, I'm calling myself a fucking clown, not him. That's on me. I should know better as a fan not to say certain things and put that energy out there. I should have kept my mouth shut, but I said it. I was like, oh, I trust his hands. And then boom, he fumbled. So that one's on me. However, the second one, I felt like they should have just like chilled out and still done their normal punt formation. Like they tried to do like the two guy thing. And to me, that's like overcorrecting the problem and like
Mm,
putting it upstairs mentally. Like let him catch the next one with no in a normal situation.
Yeah.
It's just like kind of like if you throw a pick like a BS pick, you want to call up a play for your quarterback to like get his mind right back. Like, bro, like you knew that was a bad throw, but that's not what we are. Don't let it get in his head by like we did this weird like punt safe thing that we don't normally do, and
Yeah,
like Jordan fumbles.
Jordan Whittington muffed it too. It was actually crazy. It was like maybe 2 minutes after he sent that. Like, no,
Yeah.
it was a little bit longer, but yeah, we were just talking. It was X had the good return, and we're like, dude, X has actually been like really good on returns this year. I'm excited to have him back there, and he's sure-handed and all this other stuff Steven started talking about. As soon as he says that, next punt, muff. Punt
That's
after that,
crazy.
muff again.
I mean, it honestly could be a blessing in disguise. I mean, I'd rather this happen against a really, really bad team as opposed to something like this always happens in in the OU game, and it just like flips the script and flips the momentum as well. So, I mean, I know they're going to be working on that. Start talking. Oh boy.
Travis's comment was so true. I was so pissed when they did that. Commentators put up like Quinn's like, oh, he's now second all time in Texas history with throws without an interception. And it was just like, dude, what are we doing? Like,
I want to give a shout out to Richard Corrigan, who's stationed out in Japan. What's up, man? Watching us live over there. Richard's been with us for years,
Mm-hmm.
and again, and been stationed. He's been stationed out in Korea, all over that Pacific region, and just really appreciate your service, brother, and always watching and tuning in. He's always finds a way to get to get to a TV or a device out there to see or listen to the game. And when he's not able to listen to the game, he often will tune in here just to hear what's going on so he can be informed about the team. So we appreciate you, Richard, and thank you, brother.
When do you guys think that we should have actually put in Malik Murphy?
I'll say this: I didn't have a problem that where so that last drive where Quinn was in, and we kind of went all the way down the goal line, and then what happened? We missed the 26-yard field goal
Yeah.
that we missed.
yeah,
Was it that
Yeah.
drive? Yeah. So maybe you can work Malik in there. They had time though at that point. They had a whole quarter at that point. I'm telling you, we've talked about the lack of snaps with Texas, and I'm going to pull up the box score here so we can go through the stats. I'll put it up on the screen here in a second. When you mess up possessions the way Texas does sometimes, or you don't even get a possession, that ruins people's opportunities to get snaps at the end of the game.
yep.
So if you guys like the muff punt, that's a whole possession that we didn't get. So yeah, the defense got
Oh,
extra
shoot.
rep.
Yeah.
Like the young guys on defense got to come in and get some extra work. So I guess that's good for them. But offensively for us, of seeing Malik, like, and then we did the normal backup quarterback thing where he comes in and runs inside zone a bunch of times and then has some off rhythm throw that you're not really, that's all you get. Right. And
Yeah.
so unfortunately, they the team, the special teams didn't help them with getting them the possessions that they had earned. I feel
Yeah.
like.
I'm with you. I think a possession before he should have probably been in. I trusted my defense against that offense. It's like it would have. They weren't going to have an explosive play against us like that, where they're going to score. They would have had to actually grind out a possession to get a touchdown against us.
I think there's one team in this entire conference that's capable of scoring 30 or more points against us.
Oh, you?
They're definitely not going to do it in the
Yeah.
second half of the game.
Yeah.
It's the
As soon
team
as we
we're
went up
playing
31,
next
I thought it
week.
was over.
What
It's
was
two
that?
teams, I think. I think the next two teams we're playing. Kansas offense is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Kansas offense is really good.
But did you
And
see
they're
he
very
only had
creative.
130 yards passing? Just to let you know.
Against BYU today?
Yeah, only 130 yards passing.
I got to go back and watch that game. I got to see the film. But I know it was feeling pretty shootout-y early on. It was like 14-14 first quarter.
And then obviously the OU game, if that's going to depend more so on tempo and game flow.
Yeah.
To me,
I wanted to bring
because
like a concern that I have going forward. I was tweeting about it too. how do you guys feel about our ability to defend the deep ball currently, especially against receivers with speed?
So this is something I talked about in the offseason. If I was a team looking to attack Texas, I would have some of those longer developing plays to put two particular players into conflict downfield. Ryan Watts and Bug Thompson.
Mhm.
Just because of the it's not even their ball tracking ability. It's Jermaine Burton on a dead sprint with Bug Thompson where he has to cover a crazy amount of ground. That's not going to happen, right? Or a double move where Ryan Watts doesn't get it hands on man, or it's more than a 30, 40, and he has to go, it's almost end breaking and he has to fit trail. That's going to be a challenge for him, even with he's not super slow, but he's also not a guy that's going to stay connected like that. So I think you saw Baylor try to take advantage of that. I don't think we're getting challenged on the other side. I don't see the other guys having issues keeping track, whether it's Terrence Brooks or whoever else is playing on the other end.
Yeah.
I'm more so worried about those two guys, and that's just because their lack of speed. That's a limitation. That's a physical limitation. The rest of the group are fast up front. We're fast laterally.
Yeah, we're very fast laterally.
We're very fast laterally. I
David
think
Bender was zooming today. Zooming like that play where Robertson rolls out to the right and he just hawks him down. Incredible.
But I want you to touch on that because Cook wants a lot of people in the chat are asking about Jonathan Brooks being RB1. But I want you to finish your point on the deep ball first.
Oh, I just think when it comes to the deep ball, so that is my concern. And the thing is, it's really only a concern against. It's not just in general. I think we're going to be able to defend the deep ball in general, but like you said, it's whenever you do put those players into conflict downfield. Like OU's going to be coming with Jaleel Farouk and Andrew Anthony, and they're going to be sending them downfield. Like they're gonna take their shots. Like that is a part of their offense. And even though I do feel like we do such a good job of like we're not going to give you a look where you think you're going to exploit us downfield. So you're just sitting back like against a Todd Orlando type defense where like, I'm going to take my shots. I don't care. I think the thing for me is it is a concern. I love how smart our defensive backs are right now, but I think when that situation starts being an issue, right? Do you consider on those shot down type plays, right? Like short field or not short field, but they end up getting possession in the short field and it's like a turnover or something like that. Like, a shot's coming or a third and long type situation. Do you consider rotating more with the safeties in that situation? Because it looks like Derek Williams is going to be playing a lot of football this season. Keaton Crawford as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The thing is, Keaton has the speed, but you have to trust that Keaton's going to be where he's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But if he gets into a thing, I trust Keaton more if it's again dead sprint type scenario. But I also don't want to give it away too much that just you know what I mean. It's kind of that give and that take. But you're right. Derek Williams solves a lot of these problems. The more snaps he plays, and the more he's able to go because he can do everything, and he's as fast as anybody else out there. So you're right in terms of OU. And OU takes shots down the seam too. It's not just on the outside. Their shots are actually going to come more down the seam because if OU tries to take a bunch of shots outside, Dylan Gabriel, that ball might hang.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what I was watching today in the game against Cincinnati for them, I watched is that you're right. They're not taking necessarily deep ball shots. What they're doing is like deep, not deep posts, but mid range posts, and trying to get the people in space to actually make a play. If they're going deep against us, where it takes like 3 or 4 seconds, I'm betting on our defensive line to actually affect the throws enough for our safety play to actually recognize what's going on. Mm-hmm. So, I'm more so worried about the 8-yard post or the 8-yard just seam route or just veer route or anything like that just catches the person flipping his hips the wrong way and then them just catching and going on, because that's what happened. That's what happened in the Alabama game on the second touchdown, where it just went across the field, had him in space, got us out of position, took bad angle, missed a tackle, and he scored a touchdown.
Mm.
Hey, Jordan, thank you for the super chat. OU fans, look, I don't think OU was outright exposed today. I think a lot of them are going to say, hey, we had a tough. This is the narrative, okay? I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm just telling you their narrative. And there's OU people in the chat. They're always here. They're going to tell you, hey, we had a terrific defensive showing today against a Cincinnati team that had averaged 35 points coming in, had averaged 250 on the ground and 250 in the air, and we cut those numbers in half. We held them to 6. We were tough in the red zone. And yeah, while we only scored 20 points today, we missed some opportunities that DG missed, could have had for touchdowns, but we were resilient and it ended up dominating the football game. That's going to be the narrative they spent for their 20-6 win over a Cincinnati team that I personally think would lose to Wyoming. But that's a whole nother look. We can
They
move
lost to
forward.
Miami of Ohio, brother. They definitely lose to Wyoming. I don't know. I'm sorry. Emory Jones single-handedly sabotaged that game, and I hate blaming the quarterback on everything, but God, he was bad today. But
You're right. He was awful.
he was god awful today.
Their best pass was a pass from the receiver. Like it was like a
Look, the way our defensive line is playing, because you saw the Cincinnati defensive line was not allowing them to run inside zone. Cincinnati basically said, if you're going to run the ball, you're going to have to use your quarterback to run the ball. And then it jump-started some other stuff later in the game, but they were not able to run the football. The bottom line is when you play those type of teams, as long as you're winning on first down and you don't let them get it, you can't get into tempo if you don't get first downs. Tempo is a byproduct of momentum of constantly getting first downs, and then boom, you take your shot because people aren't lined up. You're counting on all that. Texas just has to be super physical and play like a goal line scenario every time they get the ball. And those offenses stall when they get in those scenarios. See Tennessee, Florida last week, folks. Look at Ole Miss today against Bama.
mm-hmm.
Look at
Good
a lot of Alabama slowed all that tempo shit down. Okay, so as long the blueprint is out, the blueprint's been out there for veer and shoot. The teams that are really, really good out of veer and shoot have special backs. They run inside zone regardless, and they got burners all over the place to kill you, and a trigger man that's perfect. But with what we do, I'm not worried about that in that sense. As long as, to Karen's point, we're responsible up top and have that communication in the backfield of when those shots do come.
PK is going to have them. PK is going to have them buttoned up for that, or at least prepared for it. I thought you brought up a great point about what Alabama did. And by the way, everyone needs to shut up about who the quarterback needs to be for Alabama. Please. Everyone needs to shut up about that. It is absolutely ridiculous.
100% Milrow.
They honestly should have beat them by way more, but Milrow did have a pretty bad interception right on the goal line. But they dominated that game.
Yeah.
And everyone, a lot of people that I know were picking Ole Miss to beat them. So,
yeah, they played a hell of a game. I don't know. What I think about whenever I think about OU is just like I don't want to have those. I think it's the PTSD that I have, but also I get really giddy when I think about this team because when's the last time we had a D line this good? Was it because I think about like maybe that 14 season where we had like Malcolm Brown and I think like Cedric Reed was still on the team, but I think this team is far better than that. And
this team's deeper than that.
Way deeper. That's deeper. The reason why.
They were that front line was really good. I want to give them their flowers because Hassan Ridgeway was a part of that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
who ended up being a 4th round pick. Like they actually had a little rotation there. It's got to be the mid 2000s defensive line wise. Yeah, like 2008 where you had like
like all of those guys.
Yeah.
Sergio Kendall coming from the yeah.
You had Oakham. You had Is it like Alex Okafor on that team as well?
I think he was young. I think
09. When did Alex come? out of Pflugerville.
I'm not sure. But
I
you
don't
had
remember.
like dog after dog after dog. I can't remember an interior this good though.
But yeah, interior wise, also from a standpoint of pass rushing from the interior, like Byron Murphy was getting heat,
Yeah.
real
Three
heat.
man rush
And,
got a sack.
like we literally had like the 3-man drain, dog, and like my man was out here
Yeah.
still putting the center into the quarterback's. I mean, Vernon Broughton was getting active. Alfred Collins is getting active. I like our edge play too, man. Baron Sorrell, I thought had another good game today. Ethan Burke,
He getting
now Ethan Burke's now getting to the point where Texas fans are talking about he's holding him. He's holding him. They got his arms.
He
Like
got
that's when you really start to get heat.
every play. He has a great dip play underneath the tackle that the guy has his arm around his neck. Like so,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you watch it, so I mean, I get it. I get why people are complaining about that.
Let me bring up today's stats here because I want to also flip it over to the defense. Guys, we're talking about Javon Tapp, Baron Sorrell. Jet Bush is good on the edge. Jet Bush is
Jeb Bush has
good.
been really good this year.
Yo,
He's
give
been
him
really
some
good.
respect, Steven. You said
like-
that with so much shock. Jack Bush is good.
He's good.
He was either a play against like Wyoming or like Rice, like one of the two, where he just like goes and like there's like a pulling guard, he pops his shit and like seals the edge immediately. I was like, whoa, Jet Bush, is that what's going on? But hey, man, he's getting sacks, he's getting pressure, he's doing what he needs to be doing.
Justice Finkley got a sack today.
Yeah.
Jamon Sapp got more play too.
There's just a different physicality for it. There's a play towards the end of the game where that Martinez is his name or Rodriguez, which one, I forgot what it was. Martinez, is that their
Which one?
their back?
Martinez is the backup. Robertson was the starter.
Yeah, Martinez. So Martinez was rolling out, and they had the fullback slip out and one of the linebackers came up and just laid the wood on the slipping fullback, and then almost made the play on Martinez at the goal line. This team has a different physicality about them, like a tough attitude about them, and it's just great to see. I'm happy to see this. Ant Hill is of course just continuing his great play.
Yeah.
I thought Malik Muhammad, when he was put on an island on the right and people were targeting him, I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah, I need him
Baylor
to catch
seemed
that
to
pick
be obsessed with targeting Malik for some
I'm gonna message
reason.
him too. I needed him to catch that pick, man. I need him to catch
Please
that.
tell him, hey, we athletes out here in South Dallas, man.
He's gonna give me. He's got to give me one next week, bro. He's been overdue for one. I need him to get me one. I need one of the corners to get me one. TB
we
doesn't
come
have
down with
one.
those in South Dallas, bro. We don't drop those.
None of my corners have a pick so far this season. I need a pick from one of the corners. Ford's got 2. Jaron's got 2. Barron's got 1.
Yeah,
like, we need no one. I guess. Oh well, I guess Austin Jordan has 1. So Blake 4-0 feeling. Also, that's a crazy thing, guys. If we win this next weekend against Kansas, it'll be the first time we're 5-0 since 2009. First time we'll be undefeated going into OU since 2009. Steve, me and you have been talking about that for a long time, just wanting to be undefeated come OU week.
We have. What was I gonna do here?
I'll tell you what, watching Jalen Catalan come crashing down and just pop someone, so awesome to see, but also scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. I was like, bro.
Because he's Mr. Glass?
Yeah, he's literally – you saw he led with the other shoulder wrapped up. I was like, thank God, bro. Like,
it's the same thing with the shoulder, bro. Like, why he keeps –
dude hits hard, though. Straight up stuck someone. What else do I want to talk? Oh yeah, I was also I wanted to mention something about CJ Baxter. I'm happy we did have him on like limited reps because it was very concerning to me as soon as he took his first carry and was like kind of like limping off and like asked to come out of the game. I was like, man, like this really stinks. But like it was good to see him get back in there, finish a game healthy. We know that he's good going into next week. Hopefully, he continues to heal and like has a big game next week as well. But it's nice to know that you have Jonathan Brooks there. It's just like this
And
is
then
what he is.
and then when Blue came in, man, he had another pop again.
Yep. Very
So
explosive. Yeah, no. I'm watching
did
I will you said
did
what,
you
go ahead.
did I was just gonna say, did Jade not play?
No, Jade played.
No, Janae played.
That's a good sign, though, that one of your best players, you're not really needing to focus on how great he was because everyone else was playing great.
Yeah. If you noticed when they did their like quick screen
Yeah.
action, they
Yeah.
went away from Janae's side. They were like, hey, that's
Yeah.
probably why you didn't hear about Janae, because he was gonna be
Smart.
busting TFLs if they threw it to his side. But I think David Benda played an amazing game today. Defensively, I mean, like, not really too much to take away from. At the end of the day, like Baylor had 300 yards passing. Most of that was during garbage time, though. I would like to imagine maybe like 100, 150 of those yards were like during that fourth quarter, like in garbage time. Yeah, the only thing was like just the deep balls that I was really concerned about. But 60 yards rushing, I love the fact that we're an elite run defense, and that's one thing that we talked about preseason too. Steve was just like, if this team can stop the run, you're going to have a chance to play with anyone. And that was the thing that frustrated us the most about the 2021 season, is because when you're not stopping the run, that's how you get blowouts. That's how you're in non-competitive games. That's how you don't touch the ball for 10 minutes. That's how you don't get opportunities to stay in these games. But whenever you stop the run, you make a team one-dimensional. Okay, now you have to run with us. Now your receivers are tired. Now your offensive linemen are tired because they're having to go into their pass sets over and over and over again, and we're running at you full speed, especially when you have depth like Texas does. So I love the fact that we're stopping the run. Last week was kind of a lax week on the run. Wyoming came in with a good game plan to get rid of the ball early. No pressures really on them. We only got like one sack. They were very much afraid of the offensive line the defensive line that we have. So the thing that I love is if teams try to play us straight up, bruh, this defensive line is going to show up and they're gonna get pressure on you. They're going to be hitting you. They're going to be getting tackles for loss.
Even that 300 yards passing it's fool's gold because it took him 53 plays, 53 passes to get that.
Exactly. Yeah. Took him 53 passes and 100 of them from the backup that got in because the game was over already.
If you look at let me make this a little bigger for everybody. If you look at the total plays today, guys, we still only ran 59 plays.
Wow.
Like we complained last week about 52. We ran 59 plays.
Yeah.
Right? Baylor ran 84. But those again, that's what I'm talking about. The extra possessions can help us there. And you know, obviously we missed a field goal.
What's the
down.
time of possession? What's the time of possession? I want to see this just from just like a in shape perspective.
Where's TOP?
Like to show how deep we are from our defense. If they're dominating the time of possession and they didn't even score a touchdown on us.
I don't know. I don't see it on CBS.
Time of possession. So Baylor was 33 minutes, 30 seconds. We were 26 minutes, 30 seconds.
So they control.
They control time of possession. Yeah.
And it didn't look like we were slowing down. So, I mean, we're in shape.
They ran 84
Becton's done a good job with us.
Yeah. God bless. I'm so happy we have a good strength and conditioning program. Goodness gracious. I will say this though too. On the offensive side of the ball, it's crazy. Like, I mean, Quinn Ewers ends up having like 293 through the air, has a touchdown. See, it's hard. Like, I always get into the comparison thing whenever I'm looking at other like elite teams, right? Washington right now, and yes, I do. I understand Washington. Probably, I think Michael Penix and Caleb Williams are going to be 1-2 in the Heisman voting by the time the season's over, right? But their receivers are eating right now. Like Jalen Polk and Rome Odunze already have 100 yards each already and 4 touchdowns. And I'm just wondering, like, do you guys feel in any way that we're underutilizing the weapons that we have on the outside?
I think we're trying to, but we are under. I think we're trying to utilize them, but we're underutilizing them though.
Yeah,
it's for various reasons. In my opinion, I took away the screen because I wanted to touch on this because It's also a game you're playing in recruiting. Let's be honest. Guys want to eat. Guys want to see guys getting the football.
Yeah.
The Look, now Texas can go in right now. We can make our phone calls or, you know, whatever and say, our product right now, we're the third best team in the country. That's what should be said first. No
Mhm.
doubt about it. We're right now, we're playing as good as football as anybody in the country. Okay. So our product, look at how we've built up this roster. Look how many young guys we're playing, especially on the defensive side. They have a pitch there. But to your point, Karen, when I pull up those stats, and yet, yes, we are nitpicking here right now. It's not, it's like seeing Jonte get out there and get one. It's awesome, man. Like that puts on that means something. Let's be honest, that means something when you're trying to recruit Decorian.
Yeah.
Like let's keep it a buck. If you're trying to get Decorian to flip, you got to see guys eating. All right, I'm not trying to tune in to see Xavier Worthy, my number one receiver, have 21 receiving yards today,
Yeah.
30 receiving yards today.
And
But
that to me
if
is
you
good.
want to do those things, you have to be better on third down, Texas, to keep possessions going. Or like you said, Kieran, avoid third down.
Yeah.
Start out more aggressive. They're still starting out too cool for school where they could be getting some of this chunk yardage on the first drive.
Yeah.
On the, so some of
We
those
don't
things
feel as
move on.
open as other Sark offenses, just in my opinion. And the thing is, also, I love the fact that we're doing what we're doing because I don't care how many yards they get. I want to
Yeah.
win games.
I want to win. I'm with
I want
you.
to dominate
Yeah.
games.
100% with you. That's the number one
Yeah.
priority is win. Because like you said, the biggest selling point right now is we're the number 3 team in the country.
Yeah.
We're
Should be
blowing
number
teams
2.
out. What we should be doing right now is we should be recruiting heavily on D tackles because I feel like our interior is going to see a drop off if we don't get those dogs in there next year. Because I
Byron
think
Murphy going to the
we're going to
league.
be
bro.
losing some people. I think
Byron Murphy going to the league.
yeah,
playing like
he's
this.
gone. He's gone. Sweat's gone.
Sweat
Yeah.
might be a first rounder playing like this.
Yeah. So I
I don't
mean,
know.
if you want something to sell it, if you're talking about highlighting your playmakers right now are on the D line, and that's who you need to sell to right now because that's where you could win a lot of games from right there. You see how the 49ers did for the longest time.
Yeah.
So I want to get one of those big time 5-star recruit D tackles.
The McKinley types.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Or daddies.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, we're at 278 in here right now. So everybody that's watching, hit that like button for me and subscribe, especially if you want to be a part of the chat. This is a fun time to be a Longhorn fan. All right. We're over here talking about like even all right, let's talk about the good part of the stats, right? Like if we just want to fan out, right? And I'll bring this up. If we just want to talk about the fact that Jonathan Brooks, and I'm gonna go back to this,
Back to back.
is Jonathan Brooks has had back-to-back 100-yard games, back-to-back explosive runs. He's now getting some touchdowns. Quinn Ewers still hey, we want to talk about people's numbers. Quinn Ewers has become a rushing touchdown merchant.
Yeah. Was that 4 on the year now? 3 on the year?
He's got
I think it's 3 or 4.
at least 3.
Yeah.
He's got 3 that I know of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
And
the only game he didn't have a rushing touchdown was
This-
Bama.
This is one too that I wanted to text you. See, like, is that athletic enough for you?
He almost tripped over himself in open field. It was so
He
funny.
almost okay. Let me,
Hey, he stayed on his feet like an athlete. That's all that matters.
brother. Actually, let me stop sharing for a second. Let me stop sharing for a second. This is what we got to discuss.
That was so funny.
He's getting better. He's working on his
Can we be
footwork.
honest? Can we be honest, Trent? Can we be honest, Trent?
Yes, of course. I'm just busting balls.
Quinn is not a bad athlete. He can be clumsy. He's not. I do think Quinn is. If he has to run in a straight line, he's fast. He's not slow. He can run. If he has to run in a straight line, he can do that. My whole thing with Quinn is if we were over here doing the spin out drill, his hips and everything, he's tight. Okay, he's not fluid. You can see it's like teaching somebody how to dance. Okay, and how tight and they're not loosened up. You see some of these guys are loose, man. They can snap off at a moment's notice. That's how shitty Baylor is, bro. The defensive end like literally falls down. And Quinn, like if you let Quinn run for a 30-yard touchdown, you suck. I'm sorry. You suck. Baylor sucks.
Bro.
Yeah. I give him credit. Not only did Quinn keep his feet, but he stayed in bounds. I give him credit. Okay? He does deserve credit there. Like I said,
you give him credit for running straight
line. He can run. Look at the Oklahoma State game last year. That run that some suspicious holding call. He ran for like 60 yards at the end of that game. He can run in a straight line.
Yeah.
But when you're asking him to be an athlete and move side to side, that's not in Quinn's DNA. But Baylor's so trash that they just fall down. It's like before the Power Rangers used to morph and they would still beat up the putties without even needing to morph. You know what I'm saying? Like the putty would just show up to Angel Grove and they just whoop the putty's ass and then just keep it moving, go to school. I don't even need to turn into a Power Ranger in this one. That's what Quinn did. The Baylor's defense. That's all I'm going to say. I'll bring up the stats again, though. I'm getting off.
That's hilarious, though. I'm not going to lie. I like, the thing is, though, too, we talked about this for like the previous years, and I feel like it's kind of like an under talked about thing. I love the fact that like Quinn's like, screw it, I will run. Whereas before,
yeah,
I mean, like we've seen it with like
decisively.
It's like almost the last time we saw that was like Casey, and even then it was like at first Casey was just like, "Can I like Sark, please? Can I please take off? I see this lane, like, you know what I mean?" So like now, even last year it was like, "Yo, Quinn, don't do that." He tried to extend plays, run to the outside, and it's just like, look, if you have 5, 6, 7 yards right there on a first down, take that shit. Like, why would you not take it, slide? And the thing is, I do like the fact that, bro, he's not afraid to like fall a little forward, and I don't want him to get hurt, but like, bro, he plays football. Like I like seeing, yo, you're a football player. Go out there and make some football plays. So I don't know. I'm digging that. I'm digging that about Quinn this season.
He is doing a better job. So the Jonte Cook throw,
Stepped up.
and bro, did you see the subtle step up in the pocket by Quinn and the flick of the wrist?
Yep.
That's the phenom side.
He was confident.
Quinn, right? That's where we're like, hey, that's the guy that's like, all right, if we're in a competition, he's gonna hit the bucket every time. Like that was, but the subtle step up, knowing he's gonna take contact, that's all I've ever wanted to see from him. And if he does that for me, I'm good to go. That's my quarterback. I don't have any other questions. I will say this and I wanted to go back to this. Sark sometimes I feel like goes in there and will manual the offense himself. And what I mean by that is he'll dial up some screen that we've never seen before, and just like whether it's like the gunner helm joints or something else, just to like get a big gain
Sark
that he can just manual. It's crazy.
Yeah. Sark ran a gunner helm RPO today. We did not respect Baylor whatsoever, bro. Like whatsoever.
Hey, embrace the hate.
I love it.
Be that guy.
That's our last game against Baylor.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry.
Beat the shit out of him. Bye-bye.
Beat the shit out of him, bro. I love that. Wasn't even remotely close.
Yeah, we had Worthy throwing this deep ball today.
I like that play call, too. It was like, thank you for that great punt return you just had. We're going to dial up a throw for you right here next play. That's what you do when you're playing a really shitty team. That's what you do. Hey, you want a touchdown? Let's figure it out.
That fraudulent school, the way that I have so many other things I could say, but I'm just happy that I'm happy that we actually got to play a bad quarterback that it was expecting to play. People always like do weird shit and get away from it or find somebody else we don't have any tape of. Like we actually got to watch tape of Sawyer Robertson, right?
Yeah. Saw
And
that
like
he's
actually play the guy.
Yeah.
You know, I have a theory about him. You know how he was limping around like after the like midway through the second quarter? I think it was one of those things that he was just doing so bad that he was like building it an excuse for his own coach. Like I see this shit all the time with my 7-year-olds. Like when they do something wrong, they limp over. I was like, y'all can stop that now. Trust me. The best way to do it is just to run off down the field from me and just stay over there instead of coming next to me limping.
All right.
That's hilarious.
Mr. Rhodes, Mr. Rhodes, Mr. Rhodes. You just said some triggers here.
Yeah.
Why? How haven't we seen enough?
He almost got Xavier Worthy killed on the first play of the game.
Just don't dial it up. You can't. If look, 80's so good for what he gives you from a passing game perspective. He has to be on the field. I understand that. Just don't run those screens. He can't be involved in those screens. I don't care
No.
if it limits you, it limits you. But we go back to the Bill Belichick element. I'm not going to ask a player to do something he's not capable of doing. For whatever reason, AD Mitchell has told me he is not capable of blocking people. Like he just. So we're not gonna. I'm not gonna ask you to do that, especially running a play on those bubbles. That initial receiver, it's really on him at that point, bro. Like,
can I interject? I think so. Okay, he has that play to start off the game, but then 2 plays later on the third down makes a brilliant block downfield to spring open JT
he did
Sanders.
make a good block downfield.
Without that block, they don't pick up the first down there. I think obviously Jay Witt needs to be the leading blocker there. If it's like I'm going to get this guy and I want to pick up yards earlier on in the game, why am I going to that side? Like let's be honest here. But I think there's whenever you have a combination like you did on that side, where it's like, okay, there's 2 of us, we're both kind of responsible for one, or my athlete can make us play a play in space. Cool, but I agree. Bring Casey Kane on the field if you need to have someone closer to the line of scrimmage. If you're running bunch or you're running like something closer, like you know what I mean. Like if you're crowding the line of scrimmage and you need like against the right, like in the Rice game, use someone else. It's okay to use someone else, but the thing is, he does show. It seems like he's improving, which is like what nobody wants to hear. Because yes, he has terrible blocking plays every week at this point, but also I didn't see any good against Rice. I saw a little bit of good against Alabama. I saw more good against Wyoming. And then this week, obviously started off terrible, but he made good blocks the rest of the game. You know what I mean? Like
it's just that was the first play we called, Kieran.
Yeah.
So to Kieran's point, honestly, is like we have a use case to actually point out because Xavier Worthy was the same way last year. And Xavier Worthy is blocking. It's all a mentality that I think they're trying to build into it. It's when you're a finesse dude who's just like, hey, go be an athlete, go catch the ball, run your routes, run your route tree, go get it. A lot of the times those guys don't even worry about being physical with other people like that. So maybe it's just a whole mind flip trick right now that they're doing with him. So hey, we're gonna put you out there on an island and do it. Go do it. Show us you do it. And I find it very interesting that he was the only blocker out there too. So it's easy to see on film to show, hey, this is the type of effort we're talking about. My question is when are we going to see a variation off of that where AD fakes the block, slips it, and then we throw it down the field a little bit? Because I want to see that.
Yeah, it's called OU week, Trey.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
That's when every wrinkle comes out. Yeah. We just play the rest of the season straight up.
Florida State ran something like that today and scored a touchdown. I think it was their first touchdown of the game. They ran a fake smoke, fake bubble type concept, and the guy released to the middle of the field and it was literally wide open. And Jordan Travis did it. So
Yeah.
yeah, we have
All
a.
we have
I'm
on tape
sure we
is
have a
that.
variation just like that.
Yeah, all on tape is all we have is that we're just dumping it off, and you're seeing defensive backs read that a little bit better. So if they're being a little bit aggressive, let's try it. But I agree with you. I think we should save it for a team that we need it on, where we need just a big play.
While I have the stats up here, I wanted to make a note about one other thing, just because this year, RJ Martinez was their leading rusher. Think about that. Like, other than that, it's Pendergrass who had one big run. I've never seen us shut Baylor down like this since really
Since before our RG3.
before Art Briles. I've never
Yeah.
seen us shut their run game down like this. Richard Reese was is one of the best backs in the conference. Hit 8 yards. I know Dominic got hurt, but before he got hurt, 6 carries, 4 yards. Richard Reese, 3 carries, 8 yards. This is really eye popping, right? But you can make the argument those are their two probably go to guys on offense. But for their leading rusher to be their backup quarterback who doesn't even come in until the fourth quarter tells you everything you need to know.
You take out those like the ones where we're just making them grind out plays just to kill out the clock. It's less than 40 yards. We kept them to.
And then defensively, I'll go this way. Just for us to also take a look at, but one more time. Byron Murphy, 2 sacks. Statistically, probably his best day overall. And he's really kind of shoring up his spot on the All Big 12 defensive team, which he was already a preseason. Jet Bush having a sack, Vernon Broughton having a sack. I don't see. I'm sure Justice Finkley is on here somewhere here as well, but he had a sack as well, right? So that whole group and just the amount of guys that are getting active. I know heading into today's game, I think David Benda was technically our leading tackler. So Ant Hill leading us in tackles today, and just the overall group holding Baylor 5 for 18 on third down. Great job across the board. I don't have anything else to take away from that, honestly.
They're elite. Period. The defense is elite. I think it's the best defense we've had. I think last year was the closest thing we had to like that 2017 unit. Or like it was kind of like a combination of that 2017, 2014 type unit. This year, it's the best defense since Muschamp era.
The difference between the 2017 and this one is the 2017 was bend don't break. This they're not giving you shit. That's their mindset.
Exactly.
And I love it.
Yeah, it was like bend don't break. But the thing is, we can even get into that bend don't break stuff because we bow up crazy in the red zone. I love that. That's what good defenses do, just period. But now I love the fact that we're like, no, we're going to try to get you a good little 3 and out, bro. That opening script, you can throw that shit in the trash. We got you. We got you, bro. And, oh, yeah, also, Fahim, I haven't heard Gary Patterson's name all season, and it's the greatest thing ever. You guys know how I feel. And it's not that I didn't love Gary Patterson being here last year, but like everybody just being like, well, he taught PK how to do good.
PK was doing this in the Pac-12.
PK has a better resume. I've said this before. PK has one of the best resumes as a defensive play caller in all of college football. And he has for a long time. We're talking about a dude who all the way back at Boise State pissed off Chip Kelly's Oregon so much, LeGarrette Blount punched a man in the face. That was PK's defense that held them to 12 points. 12 points. No, it was like 10 points. They beat them back-to-back years. They beat Chip Kelly's Oregon back-to-back years. The same team with Jeremiah Masoli went out there and did some damage, and then the next year was in the national championship. That Chip Kelly Oregon. Bruh. That like he just didn't get enough credit whatsoever. And now, honestly, the thing that I love the most about PK is though too. You remember whenever we did like the little deep dive on his like his defensive play calling and like their run stopping ability. It seemed like he was a
Yeah.
guy that wasn't capable of stopping the run that great. He was a good like bend don't break type defense, but he always got really good pressure. He was good against the pass, air raid offenses, da 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 da. Bruh, this is the best run stopping unit that he's had his entire career. Even
Yeah.
in those games against he gave up 300-yard rushing performances in his best defensive years in Washington. We didn't give that up last year.
No.
I don't see us giving up 200 yards rushing on the schedule this year.
Yeah,
Just
we do. We do also have to give Bo Davis credit too. Bo
amazing.
Davis, yeah, he's done a great job with this unit.
We're gonna get three-star guys drafted off the defensive line.
Mm-hmm. Goes
Just
back
not
to my
off the top of my head.
goes back to my point is go after those 5 stars. Hey, you see what I did with these guys?
Exactly.
See what I did?
Yeah, we already
Yeah.
know what it's about though. Hey, you see this check?
Yeah, yeah.
You see it?
It's a little bit of both. We
Hey,
got to throw in a little bit of
it's
both.
legal now, bro.
Yeah,
Back in
I'm
your
with
bag.
you.
Get back in your bag, dog.
I'm with you. That little check, if they produce a championship for us, is dropping the bucket for what Texas will recoup it.
If A&M did it in one off season, I know we got oil money too. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, we haven't even seen Texas get active yet in conference yet. Like we've seen Texas recruit at this point to get ready for the SEC. We haven't seen Texas recruit in the SEC. Like while we're playing, getting ready to play Georgia or getting ready to play Florida or any of those teams. Like the intensity, we're gonna be on 10, bro. Because Bo Davis, I agree. First off, Fahim is right. It was very underrated how many Washington guys were going to the league on defense, and not just like going to the league, but guys that were first, second, third round picks. So that's a great point by Fahim. Danny, Bo Davis though is an elite developer.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you about recruiter. He hasn't passed. He's done. The numbers are there for this class, but we can talk about the misses on the top tier guys. But what we can't debate with Bo is in that room the improvement. The work he's done with Vernon Broughton is remarkable.
His body has changed too.
Byron Murphy is a dominant player now. I'm seeing a lot of Trill Carter in there. I'm sure Trill Carter is only going to get better and better as he, stays in our program and continues to be developed. We saw some of the young boys in there, like Aaron Bryant and Jere Bledsoe getting snaps. Different people getting active. So Bo, get off the bus, Bo. We gonna be here. What are they saying about the USC score? What's the USC score?
It's 27-21. It's called Caleb just missed Austin Jones on a wide open touchdown. He seems like he just got the wind knocked out of him though. He's a little hurt. He just took a shot. He'll be fine though. But yeah, they have like a couple of penalties that are hurting him right now. Defensively though, USC still we know who their defensive coordinator is. But like he got hit in the nuts with a snap. That's actually hilarious. I don't lie to you. I looked up and saw the replay. Like they called the flag, so he looked up and the ball went right in his midsection. Oh my god!
Before we wrap up, just as we watch Texas, this is one thing I want to talk about today.
Real quick. That comment, Dan Quid taught PK so much. Is that true?
Yeah, they went and hung out for a minute.
Because the crazy part of that is I saw the same stunt that Micah did this past week with Ant Hill doing it this week. The same stunt where he started on the outside, cut all the way up the A gap. I saw that same exact stunt. So interesting.
there's a lot of synergy between them. And there's a certain group. So Dan Quinn, the Shanahans, the McVays. There's like a collective brain. Sark is in this, like a collective brain trust where they talk about so many things. It's one of the reasons why the Cowboys had an accelerated plan for DeMarvio and Overshown, and why Overshown was kind of flying around when he got there. Because he was being asked to do a lot of the same things, and he kind of knew the language.
Yeah.
Not that it's the exact same defense, but conceptually of what his responsibility was, right? And so, yes, that is true. Sark's original DC he went after was Dan Quinn, before Dan Quinn took the Cowboys job. So, no, I mean and you see how Dan Quinn's pitch is probably the best defensive coordinator in the NFL, in my opinion, right now. I would say, and you see what PK is doing on the college side.
Yeah.
Sorry,
you hang out with smart people and study with smart people. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. Sorry, didn't mean to sidetrack you. I was interested because I noticed that watching it live, and then when they showed the replay again, I was like, that's the same play that Micah got that first sack on.
Yeah.
So,
and that was another thing too I wanted to ask you guys. So I'm so happy to have Sark as our offensive play caller right now, just because he gives us a schematic advantage that we've honestly just never had since I've been alive. Like it's mostly been other than when we had like those late Greg Davis years.
Greg Davis, yeah.
Yeah. When we had those late Greg Davis years, it was like, okay, cool. Like we kind of developed something. We have this like quick pass attack that really utilizes Colt McCoy's strength, and like the offense is really geared around his skill set, right? I think right now my only like kind of gripe, it isn't anything schematically. It's obviously like sequencing of play calling. I think everybody knows Sark is a genius at getting people open and diagnosing mismatches and all that, right? I think my thing is, it sounds like a stupid complaint. I think we need a little more of the old, like, we're just better than you type mentality. Well, on first down, we're going against Baylor. I want to run the ball. I want to run inside zone out of 11 personnel. I want to Tom Herman that shit up, because guess what? We actually recruited the personnel to be able to move people out of the way. I just want a little bit of that. I love the fact that Sark in those matchups, he's going to be able to do what he does, right? But why not be a little more aggressive? Why not do straight dropbacks? Why everything doesn't always have to be so cute all the time?
We started, correct me if I'm wrong, we have started every game this year with a screen pass.
I think so.
Probably. Our first play, if you think about it, our first play of the season was bubble to the left to Xavier against Rice. Alabama, we started with a smoke screen
to Cedric Baxter.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, to Cedric Baxter when we were in empty. Right. Yeah. Last week against Wyoming, I think we opened with a screen pass, because today we opened with a screen, obviously, and AD missed it. I think all 4 plays to literally start the game.
Yeah.
To your point, we're literally starting with a screen.
If we don't start the game next week with stretch or something else, I swear to God.
Is that a thing? Is that a thing to get Quinn going? Like an easy pass for him to get him going?
I'm down for quick passes to get going. Do it on second down, motherfucker. Like I'm so like
definitely change up your like if you're running a screen every single time. I mean, people are gonna be like, "Yeah, we're ready."
Yards, bro. Give me something positive. Like, and I know sometimes they'll go for like 6 or 7, and that's fine. It's like a variation extension of the run game type deal. But like, bro, I like getting the run game going first, especially whenever you build your entire deep. Like you build your entire deep passing game or intermediate passing game off of play action. The more established your run game gets, the better we run the ball, the more unstoppable this offense becomes. You saw, like, people think Mac Jones was just dicing people apart. No. The reason why that team was so freaking good was I can hand the ball to Najee Harris and get 5 yards every time.
Every time.
No, I can do that. So you're going to have to commit more bodies to stop that. That to me is like that's what made that Alabama offense so special. Najee didn't get any of the credit. It was all Devontae Smith and Mac Jones and everybody else. Najee was a 6 yards, 5-6 yards a carry type guy the entire season. How many times did you watch that
And
20?
still caught 47 passes.
Exactly. And how many times did you watch Najee Harris get popped in the backfield?
Very rarely.
Rarely.
Yep.
Rarely.
Kansas game next week. This is important to say this too. That Kansas team last year was dangerous, but one of the things we did to blow that whole game open was we ran the hell out of the football.
I was going to say Bijan was Bijan. That's what I was going to say.
Like, we ran the hell out of the football.
Bijan could have 400 yards in that game if you
Yeah.
So, in DKR, I honestly feel as though your goal, I mean, this is a game, we looked at, okay, Texas hasn't scored over 30, 40 points. This is an opportunity to really kind of flex your muscle offensively this week because the defense is going to have their hands full. There's a lot to key in on. There's a lot of good personnel on Kansas offense, and you're going against really good, smart offensive coaches over there. I do trust the defense, and I think they're going to have a great performance next week and open some eyes. But the way you make it stress free is if you're the offense, you're like, yo, this Kansas defense is not that good. Like they're not bad. They have all conference players. Kobe Bryant being one of them at corner.
Yeah.
Okay. He went and slapped somebody today and picked the ball up and ran it back for a touchdown. I did see that. I think somebody else had a pick six on Kansas. So they have some players, but overall as a unit, to Karen's point, Texas should be able to lean all over Kansas for 4 quarters.
Yeah.
Physically. They didn't flip all that in the portal over the last 12 months. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the spread on that Kansas game's going to be, but yes, Texas is the better team and should go out. And if they execute the way that we know they can, especially at home, we should be fine.
Yeah. I just have this like sneaky suspicion that we're not going to see the full openness of Sark's offense. I don't even want to say that, but like we're not going to see like just how crazy it is or like just how deep and intricate it is until you establish the run game. I'll put it that way. And when you do have the run game established, and also you'll have, I guess, like more consistent reads being made. But one thing that I did also want to bring up too today, I saw a lot of people talking about like, well, where are the deep shots? We haven't taken shots. The improvement from Quinn was the fact that you didn't see them today. Sark called them. But last year, Quinn would have been throwing into double coverage. He would have been heaving. Telling you. I think he checked down. You watched him check down today. He went all the way through his progressions, went all the way down to Jonathan Brooks in the flat. Like, I don't know. I think that's I'm perfectly fine with the way we played today. He took exactly what the defense gave him. And I think Sark was very happy with the Quinn's game today.
I think Sark also looks at it like from a standpoint of I have all this space underneath. I can also use like there was a pop screen we did to Jatavian early in the game. I think it was our first third down conversion where we had 2 guys already. It was the AD Mitchell one where he held up and got the block. Like I don't have to just have this recipe of either throwing a screen or taking a shot with Quinn anymore. It kind of felt like it used to be those things, and there's now an element of we can run some intermediate concepts. We can build off of what we're doing with our screen or our play action, and the possibilities are there. The ball didn't hit the carpet that much today. His completion percentage has gotten a lot better. Remember, Quinn was a sub 60% thrower last season. Now, a big part of that was because of the Oklahoma State game that just shit on his whole season numbers. But ball didn't hit the carpet that much today. So that's an improvement. When I look at all all the pass catchers and everybody in the game. Tran, Kieran, I just want to keep JT involved.
Yeah.
Again, there's nobody in the conference that can check that guy.
We have not had a player. Well, there was a play. I think it was that screenplay that you're talking about, and I think he was running up. There's two guys who they were hesitant to run to go tackle him when he was running. When he tried to hurdle someone, they weren't running towards him. They were running alongside him. And I get it. It's a business decision that you're making not to try to hit that dude. But we have to utilize his because he's athletic for his size. He has soft hands, and he'll go get the ball. So I mean, if we have a unicorn like that, you have to use it.
All right, I'm gonna say all right. We're because I want to wrap up here soon, but I'm gonna say this, and it goes back to the point. I'm gonna go back here, Tran. I don't give a damn. It's what we talked about last night.
The field goal kicker.
No,
because after he missed it, I think we need to get that garbage field goal kicker.
No, don't you do it. No, if Bert Auburn, I trust.
I trust Bert always. It was just unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm just messing
If Bert Auburn, I trust. He's got that little Cameron Dicker focus thing going on right now. Dicker's fixed his focus now that he's in the pros. He has that thing where he just. I would have actually had my buddy texted me this too. He was like, I would have had Will Stone kick that field goal. Why not? Let him get some reps. I would have had Will Stone kick that 26-yard field goal. I don't have any questions about Bert other than sometimes he has mental lapses. Not in big moments, but like that. Anyway, no, what I was saying about going back to last night is how few games you have with great players in college. Jatavian Sanders, we have what? 8 regular season games left to see him in a Texas uniform?
Yeah.
No.
I don't have time for him not to get the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Because he's gone next year.
The thing is, you can say the same about X, though. When's the last like it's the same thing about X and AD. It's like when's the next time you're gonna get a guy that explosive with that, like that's surefire, like proven production since his freshman season? Dude might break if he ends up catching fire here soon, but like dude might break the school record for touchdowns. Like you know what I mean? So like I get it, but also ball distribution, you got to be able to get everybody eaten. But I do agree with you from a matchup standpoint, JT should always be having a game like that. Always.
He should not get anything less than 7 targets a game. Yeah. Anything less. I do think that this is a step forward in you remember how I was talking about our team's offense just needs to start clicking. They need to start hitting on those little intermediate passes. They did that today. And I think this is the start of it. Hopefully, it just keeps getting better and we start seeing the efficiency, even if we're only getting 58 to 60 plays a game offensively. Hopefully it's because we're just getting huge chunk plays from our studs.
Yeah.
Cook and Co. Love it more than to be celebrating that dub. I may be in Dallas for that. Tran, I think you have a birthday party.
Yeah, right? It's my son's birthday for that.
Yeah. So, but I may be there. Kieran, are you going to the Cotton Bowl?
I'm gonna be there. I'm trying to figure out the ticket situation right now, but it's
you and me both, brother.
Yeah, no,
do the old $100 handshake for the people at the gates.
Goodness,
going back to college.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Actually, it's not a bad idea. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's a bunch of like college kids that are the security at the door. Hey man, come on, bro.
That's hilarious.
Bro. You want to be on my TikTok?
You really want to be that guy? Man? You want to be that guy? Let me in.
Do you know who I am? You believe I think that?
That's so funny.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
bro.
How do you guys feel about I have a really hot take. I think Texas is I don't see us not being a top 2 team in the country right
Well, we're ranked third.
Yeah.
now. I don't think Michigan's a better team than us. And what Georgia has shown, I think we'd beat Georgia on a neutral field right now. Which sounds bold, but also I believe in my squad. And I think the boldest prediction I have is, guys, if you execute offensively, this team should win a national championship.
Mm-hmm.
This team should be an undefeated team, especially in this conference that's full of dog water. You should win a national championship this year. It's a year that you need to be able to do it. And it sounds bold, and I'm getting excited just thinking about it because it sounds freaking crazy coming out of my mouth. Because we say this to like other people, but like, guys, like these years don't come along where everybody else is like kind of like, oh well, you have like clear deficiencies. I don't know.
I agree with you. I mean, honestly, I think we could play with anyone.
We can definitely play with anyone, but my thing is, I think we're at a spot right now where you're likely looking at being double-digit favorites against the majority of this conference, and all but maybe
Here,
2 games.
I'm gonna ask you a question that the same question you asked me before the season, just for the sake, so we can let people in on some of the conversations we have behind closed doors. You asked me how many teams should even be competitive out of the 12 games,
Yeah,
and I was like, wow, like that's a really bold thing to ask. And now here we are, and the reason why I am leaning, because I also said last night, and Tran can co-sign this. I said at this point, now I haven't gone beyond postseason, but I said that at least for the regular season, any loss that Texas would suffer will be a grave disappointment. So that's kind of saying the same thing, right? Like
yeah.
at this point, based upon what we've seen and the data we have, any loss will be a grave disappointment based upon what we've seen from this football team
Yeah.
and how they're winning the games. So I guess the question to you is still how many games should even be competitive? And the other thing I want to make a note of, Texas won every game so far by double digits, correct?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like that's the thing. Like we're not even finishing these games within a score of us.
Yeah.
So Karen, again, how many games? We have 8 games left in the regular season. How many should be competitive?
Should be 1. It's gonna be 1. It's gonna be OU. It's the only game I can say should be. But the only reason why I'm saying that is because it's a rivalry game. And it's
Right.
like built in, it's innately college football that a rivalry game, you never know what's going to happen. That's going to be everybody's up as much as they
The
possibly can be.
WTF.
It's also from a coaching perspective, I win this game, I keep my job. Screw everything else. I win this game. 99 times out of 100, unless you're Mac Brown in 2013, you're old, decrepit, and everyone wants to get you out of there. Like 99 times out of 100, I win this game, I keep my job. So they prepare as good as they can. In their contract, when they're shaking hands with donors, it's like, I need to be able to, like, you got to win that game. You got to beat Texas. You got to beat OU. You got to, you know what I mean? That's the game that it's just like, okay, I can see that game being competitive. But also, Steven, if we lose to OU, you're going to play them again at the end of the year because there's not a single other game on the schedule that should be competitive. And my thing is, if you go out there and you beat them, that second game better not be competitive against whoever it is.
Hey, Fat Man said Kansas State, don't sleep.
No, sleep. I'm sound asleep on Kansas. I'm knocked out on Kansas State. It's not even it's how Kansas State plays football. They're a very meat and potatoes type team, which is the exact reason why we have dominated them over the past 6 years.
Yeah,
we were bad.
That goes right into our strength. You try to run it down the middle on us, it's going to be a long day for you.
They try to out physical teams. That shit's not working on us. Please try to run the ball down my throat. with a lesser talented squad than you had last year without Deuce Vaughn and whatnot. We cooked Deuce Vaughn the 3 years that he played. We went on the road, blew them out in Kansas State. We went back home the next year, had a terrible year, beat them still. Last year we go on the road, we're up 28-3 at like halftime or something. Ends up being like a competitive game. It was like 28-10 or something.
Yeah, we won by like 7.
Yeah, we ended up
it
ended up being competitive towards the end because we just didn't know how to close the game. But it's the style of play that Kansas State plays. But also, I'm sorry, no team that's not getting handled, but losing to Mizzou on the road should be beating us this year. And that's the thing, is like you have to carry yourself. And I'm not saying us as fans have to go talk shit like it, but
no, you're talking about how the team should perform on the field.
What? We're number 3 in the country right now. And we're so battered fan syndromed out right now because of everything that's happened in the past that it's like it sounds almost crazy and delusional to be like, no, we should beat everybody on this schedule by double digits. There's not another top 5 team in this conference.
No.
There's not. As much as OU fans might want to believe that everything's got fixed in a year, no, it hasn't. And yes, they still could pop us. They could win.
And the thing is, year over year in college football, you're absolutely right, though. Year over year in college football, you some years have multiple juggernauts. You could have more than one team that's like an all-timer. And you also have multiple seasons in college football where it's like there's no great team. There's no like dominant juggernaut.
Yeah.
They're gonna be favored by 17 on any field type team, right? And so recognizing that, I mean, we saw that happen when I was growing up, 2007, when every single week there was literally no, like it was like 8 teams that were the same. And it was like
Kansas was in the mix.
It was like Kansas versus Mizzou.
A game away from being in the national title. It's crazy. And
West Virginia would have been in the natty if they had lost to Pitt the last game.
Bro, it's crazy. And that's the thing too, is just like I'm happy that type of parity is coming back to college football because 2019, 2020 would have had you believe in, you have to be this juggernaut, crazy, talented team that you've ever seen to be.
And that's what fans are grading this against. And we're here to tell you there's no boogeyman out there like that.
No.
There's no boogeyman out there like that. Even Georgia, you're right about Georgia too. I watched Spencer Rattler and that horrendous offensive line of South Carolina hang in there blow for blow with Georgia.
They dropped like 7 balls in that game too.
Right. Like I'm like, there's nobody out there that's like this juggernaut boogeyman product that is overwhelming. I mean, look at the Notre Dame Ohio State game tonight, folks. And I know everybody's going to talk about the ending and how, and we're going to use that ending and say the game was epic. That's how they do with these Midwestern games, by the way. Yeah. But I had my eye, off to the side on it.
Yeah.
That wasn't good football to me. Not like yeah, y'all were physical and hitting all that, but like my boy, who I thought was going to lead Notre Dame to a lot more points, we got 2 touchdown drives. That's it. And then Kyle McCord's been suspect the whole season.
Yeah.
So you still got to beat those teams. And if I'm Ohio State fan right now, I feel the same way. Why shouldn't we go and sneak in and win a national championship this year? Who the hell else is elite?
Yeah.
If I'm a Penn State fan, like there's a lot of fans that should feel that way. But as with what our schedule looks like, I think I am trending in that same direction with how I feel about this.
Go ahead, Trey.
I was just going to say the only cause for pause that I have is what you said earlier, Stephen, is us starting to feel ourselves.
That's our biggest opponent.
Yeah, is us.
What do I say every week? Texas' biggest opponent is Texas.
And I think that so far, Sark has done a good job at kind of deflecting the fact that they're ranked number 3 in the nation. You don't really read too much of them talking about them being number 3. You don't hear anything about that. We haven't won anything yet. I want that mentality that we just come in, do like we did today, just treat this like our league. Like,
Yeah.
y'all can't touch us.
Do you guys feel like the lack of having that other dominant force in college football to be like, no, that's what we want, or that's what we want to get, is like kind of hurt? Like I understand our main motivation this year, which I love because I think every great team needs that, right? For LSU, it was like, dude, we play in the SEC West. Alabama's been rocking us. A&M beat us last year and they made cups because they beat us in 7 overtimes. You know what I mean? Like they had that motivation going into that next year. Whereas for us, our motivation, it seems like this year it's our last year in the Big 12. They all hate us. They're all talking crazy. We can't let them go out with a dub over us. We actually need to like show finally why we are the team that we want to be, right? The '05 national championship team, the whole year. What did SEC or what did USC do? What do they do? I really hope they don't lose. USC is coming off of back-to-back national titles. I wonder if the motivation will last the more dominant we are throughout the season on beating all these teams in conference. And I really hope, I hope every single one of these kids takes that shit personal. Like, especially with this conference. Because I love the fact the Big 12's biggest mistake is they made Texas Tech, who talked the most last season, who pissed us off the most, be at the very end of the year. Because to me, that's like, nah, we gonna run this. And when we get there at 11-0, we gonna run y'all too into the dirt.
And then not only that, our bitch commissioner, Big 12 commissioner,
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah,
Bro,
has been talking so much shit. Like even at Big 12 media days, what did he say? He's like, oh, they're gonna stop getting beat by Kansas State and Iowa State, which is funny, is we beat them last year, both of them.
Get beat by Florida.
Yeah, to get beat by Florida. I was like, you started off with that, then you go to Texas Tech and I don't know, press conference or something like that, and said, I'm going to be at that game on Thanksgiving, and y'all handle business or something like that. Come on, bro. We're still in the league. Oh, and by the way, like, those commercials where it shows the Big 12. Did y'all notice how there's just a quick flash of Vince Young grabbing the confetti? That was it.
Yeah.
Did y'all notice that? That stuff makes me laugh, man. But bro, we just need to just go there and just dominate everyone. I like your thought process, Karen. Is that let's go. Let's show that this is our league. We're leaving, and we're gonna say bye. You can enjoy that. You can enjoy second place.
Yeah, you need that motivation. And that's the thing is like I need I think the kids need something that like keeps them week in and week out. Yo, like this is what we're playing for. Like this is the mission. This is what we're trying to do. I don't care. That's the thing. The '05 team, they didn't care that they were playing like a bad Colorado or like whatever. Like it was just like, nah, bro, we want to play USC at the end of this shit. We're gonna do whatever we can to make sure that we play USC.
They're really trying to keep pace.
Bro, we're trying to blow teams out worse than USC blew them out. Oh, USC's playing against Cal and they're not that good, or USC's playing against Oregon State. Cool. What was their score? Did we do better? Shit, we didn't do better this week. We got to go do better next week. Like, I love that type of motivation. That's the thing too. Is like, bro, if they get motivated, like you saw Georgia. So I have friends that played on like Georgia's defense. They were just like, bro, the fact we didn't give up like a touchdown, like a rushing touchdown, for like I was like 7-8 games of the season. We were like, bro, we love that. When we got into the red zone, it was like, bro, we're teeing up. Like, there's no shot y'all are getting a touchdown on us. Even if it's that, we got to beat everybody by double digits. The defense is like, we're not giving up 20 points against anyone in this conference. If it's 10 points, I would love for it to be like, yo, we don't want to give up 10 points against anyone in this conference. I need that type of motivation, the elite team type motivation. But that's the one thing that I have liked about this. Even during the offseason, you talk to anyone in the program, they're just like, no, it's just like the outside distractions seem to have been limited. And it's these guys are just really good. And they can be really good if they stay focused and they execute.
It's interesting, too, because we talk about the locker room aspect. I think that's why I'm like, there's a standard you can tell that's already there on defense. You can't have that many guys. The communication's too on point for them not to be on each other's ass all the time. because they sub a lot of guys. They have like these hockey type substitution packages, but you don't see coverage busts. You don't see a whole bunch of guys. There was maybe one or two times I could even think where they had to like over communicate to make sure somebody got a call. Whereas in before it'd be like, oh shit, he didn't hear me. Whatever, let's just run the play.
Yeah.
It was Michael Taffy yelled at Brooks one time, or not Brooks, Gabe Holmes one time to move back, and that was and like he like, but like every single play, they are they are over communicating. They're making sure that everybody's comfortable. They're telling each other shit like, "Hey, beat his ass to the corner. He sucks." Even if they talking shit while they're communicating, we are together. We are a single unit,
Yeah.
right? Don't let him outside of you. I got you if he comes this way. If he crosses your face, I got you. Stay, you keep contained. And just making sure that everybody's understood. And you see that every single play,
Yeah.
regardless of who's in there on defense. That's a standard.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, you ain't gonna come over here and play on our defense and be silent.
Yeah. That's one thing that I do love. Our it was like that first year, our D line or our defense just didn't communicate whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like the biggest like thing. Even when we were playing like ULM last year, we're like, holy shit, they're talking to each other. Like everybody's running to the ball, crazy. They're all talking to each other. And everyone's like, oh, you played ULM, bro. Bama's gonna cook you. And then you saw it that next game, and I was like, oh shit, like they're actually running to the ball and they're really communicating with each other. So I don't know. It's nice too because you have so much veteran leadership on that side of the ball. That's the side of the ball, like that's what happened with the muff punt 2 years ago, or an inexperienced Texas team, regardless of how good they are, they're not going to go back on the field, rebound, and be like, okay, cool, whatever. They walk back out on the field. You think Jalen Ford was like, oh, damn, we got to come back out here? You think Tavondre Sweat was like, oh, damn, I got to come back out here? Now they're like, all right, bet, cool. We got y'all. They ain't scoring on us. They not getting shit on us. As a matter of fact, they can come down here inside this 10. Are they getting in the end zone?
Nah.
Nah. They can get 3. We'll give you 3 on 2 trips.
Parting shots. Let's get out of here. Tran, parting shots for you.
Hey, I think I was supposed to only stay on here for 30 minutes, but it's just awesome to get to chop it up with you too. That's my parting shots.
Hey, we appreciate it, man.
Hey, good talking to you, Tran.
Yeah, same, brother.
We got to link up soon. I'll be back in Austin, hopefully sometime soon. But yeah. I guess parting shot for me. I'm very excited that the defense went out there and still did their thing. Very excited. Quinn did his thing as well. I saw a comment earlier talking about are we an away team? Before we weren't. So we're an away team and we're a fourth quarter team this year. So if that's what we are, screw it. I don't care.
I'll take it.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
But parting shot, I will say, very excited at the direction that the team is going. Baylor sucks. Baylor has always sucked. They're our little brother. They're a little bitch boy, and we treated them like such. And I'm very happy that we did. Screw them. Screw the city of Waco. Chip and Joanna Gaines the best thing to ever come out of there, and they just make my mom proud. So that's the way Waco can have that. RG3 is cool too. I like him, but
right, you gotta show some love to Robert too.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll show some love to Robert. He's my guy. But Baylor, it was nice packing you up, bro. It was nice playing against you. I'm going to say this to every single Big 12 team that we beat. Have fun playing on Bally Sports Southwest next year. You broke things. That's it. That's it. That was it. Screw Baylor. Why are we acting like it was all sweet with Baylor? Nah, they all getting that smoke. Goodbye, Baylor. Have fun. Bye-bye. Go get back with my Coach Prime on Bally Sports Southwest.
That's fantastic.
Man, they gonna miss that stimulus package coming into these towns, won't they? That Texas Week check is different for those local businesses when you have Texas on the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, but you know what? My only parting shot here is just fun. Have fun, enjoy the process, remember these stories. One of the reasons why I'm blessed enough to have this channel is I remember what it was like in the 2000s. Trey, we all, we remember what it was like to be able, because we had so much fun and appreciate it, to where we're able to understand what that feeling is like when your team is getting to those moments again. And we're remembering that and documenting this, but also having fun together to say, hey, um, yeah, literal party shot.
Hey, they said party shots. Bro, screw the Big 12. What are we being nice for? No. Baylor, you suck. Straight up, you suck. You absolute suck. You're terrible. The fact they even fielded that abomination of a football team and we sold out half of their damn stadium is just terrible. Get a real football program. Anyway.
Oh man. My buddy said David Randa gonna be in the Nick Saban coaching rehab program next season.
Yeah.
I could see him joining Tom Herman's staff.
At fight, nah, Randa.
He'll be a DC again. He'll be a DC again somewhere.
He'll be a DC.
Lincoln Riley call him.
Hmm.
Lincoln Riley calls Dave Aranda. That's a great hire.
That's a very good hire for him.
Yeah, Aranda should go to USC. Anyway,
I'm gonna be able to recruit for shit, but you see me.
Shout out to Sark over here building up faith. And you know what? Maybe the whole plan the whole time was just to build this thing up so much where you have so much talent that your situational coaching, even if it's mid, it doesn't matter. You just blow through everybody.
Yeah.
Because Sark has built up a heck of a roster here this year, folks. So, like I said, enjoy the process. Oh yeah, Ryan Day is a bitch. I saw that. He's a whole bitch.
What do you do?
Ryan Day is a whole bitch.
What do you do? Inform me.
He went after Lou Holtz post game, because Lou Holtz said they called him. Lou Holtz called him soft on Pat McAfee's show. So Ryan Day
doesn't know who he is.
This is real talk on what he's saying right now.
Hold on, let me. I'll pull it.
Ryan Day is so soft.
Ryan Day, how can you be so upset with those rosy ass cheeks of yours? Put the fuck down.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's like going after Lee Corso for something he said. It's like, oh, shut up. Like,
they're old. It's like,
yeah, he's old.
They're saying whatever they want. They got to enjoy their remaining years. Let them.
That's what I'm saying. Brother, Caleb Williams is really good at football. Sorry. Anyway, are you gonna screen share? I didn't hear what he said.
Like, I'd like to know where Lou Holtz is right now. What he said about our team.
Oh, man.
I don't know why. I don't know.
Like, I'd like to know where Lou Holtz is right now. What he said about our team. What he said about our team. I cannot believe. This is a tough team right here. We're proud to be from Ohio, and it's always been Ohio against the world, and it'll continue to be Ohio against the world. But I'll tell you what, I love those kids, and we got a tough team. Like, I'd like to know where Lou Holtz is right now.
Wow.
What he said about our team. What he said about our team, I cannot believe.
Bro. Saying all of that while having the same facial coloring as the elf that helped out Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Like, it's so funny, bro. Christopher Kringle ass face that he's got, bro. I don't want to hear it, dog. That's so funny, bro. I don't know. I hope an old man comes out and says that we're soft too. Who's our biggest op in media? Oh yeah. Also, screw what's his
Tim
name?
Brando.
Tim Brando. Yeah, screw Tim Brando.
Yeah.
I can't stand Tim Brando. I hope he's still saying Texas is trash. Now, don't give us any of his games. I can't wait to not play on Fox as well. Send his ass to Bally Sports Southwest to call Baylor's next game too. Cannot stand it, man.
Tim Brando thinks our quarterback is Shane Buechele. I don't know.
Did you say that recently?
No, it's just so misinformed.
Yeah.
Be very Tim Brando-esque.
He's gonna be the first person to bring up the boosters and stuff like that, like the old Texas tropes. That's Tim Brando. So
Yeah.
anyway, no, those are my parting shots. Yeah, Ryan Day. That you're pulling up on people out here that are 176 years old with dementia. That's not the move, bro. That's all I'm saying.
This live chat, we're all tough. Fucking guy.
We're tough.
We're tough.
We're tough.
Lou Holtz.
We're
He's
tough.
misinformed.
It's a tough team. It's a tough team, bro. You know, it's like sound like you got tears in your eyes, bro. Relax.
Take it easy. You just won a big game, man. You won a top 10 matchup. Don't worry about Lou Holt's ass who's sitting at his fucking.
Lou Holtz was at the game and they were like 3 people holding him up so he could like walk or, like wave to the crowd.
He's a mascot.
Wicked at
Lou Holtz and didn't Lou Holtz and Mark May get like dishonorably like discharged from ESPN's like Lou Holtz was on.
They were reckless back in the day.
Lou Holtz was like old as shit when I was watching like college football final at like fucking 1 a.m. when Texas was good. Like
yeah,
still old then. Like what are we talking about, bro? Oh my gosh.
That's the one person he decided to go after.
That's hilarious. Hey, sometimes you got to hold on to your bulletin board, though. Like that's the thing. In this new era of college football, where you got Deion coming in and like everybody wants to have their like
Right.
or whatever, like sometimes you got to hold on to it. And whenever you do have those moments, it's like, yo, I'm gonna let you know how I feel about it. I'm gonna let him swing. I'm gonna talk my shit a little bit, you know. So I'm all for it. But that's him doing that with Lou Holtz is not where to go, though. You know what I mean? Saying like, yeah, people were calling, even just like allude to him in like a third party type sense. Yeah, people were out here talking about we were soft. This is a tough team. That would be cool.
Said, I cannot believe that Lou Holtz. What's that?
I cannot believe this dude that's been giving hot college football takes, talking shit about people's teams for 20 years, said this about my college football team.
And especially since he is the Notre Dame guy too. It's like,
also,
what
Ryan,
the hell do you think? Like, is he going to go after Vince Vaughn for picking for picking Notre Dame?
Yeah, Ryan.
Lou Holtz,
the
people of Ohio have responded.
The sad part is Ryan Day didn't ask himself, what would a soft person do in response to this? A soft-ass person would reply and be like, yeah, you 95-year-old man, we're tough.
We're coming after
That's
you.
the softest shit I ever heard. Like, what? No. I don't know. I want Sark to do that to somebody. I want Sark to talk his shit about Coach McGuire afterwards. And I love Coach McGuire, but he needs that humbling.
He went off on that poor Alamo Bowl guy.
Hey guys, there's one thing that might be true. Big 12 is really running through Lubbock. They were running right through them. Like a Magic City. Never mind, I can't say it. But yeah, they're running right through them. It's sad. Texas Tech is definitely getting ran through this season. For sure. Oh my God.
Brother. Lou. Sark, if Sark was in that scenario, I texted somebody, I told somebody, I said, if Sark was in that same scenario, he's an asshole in a whole different way, though. He would have been like, Lou Holtz said what? Oh, man, I'm just happy he's still with us to enjoy some Texas football.
Exactly. He would have said something like sly like that. That would actually be more savage. I would love that too. If like Ryan,
that'd be even worse. Oh, Lou said,
Holtz said some shit.
Wow, I didn't even know Lou was still with us.
The
God
funny
is
thing
good,
is,
isn't he?
the funny thing is the girl, the interviewer, she didn't even come up and like bring up Lou Holtz. He had that shit ready like on the side.
Right.
Like what's where's Lou Holtz? Where is he? 16-14.
He was ready to pull up on him. Last second touchdown. Okay, bro.
Ohio. That's what we do.
Goodness gracious. This was a solid win. Ryan Day really did everything in his power to help them lose that game, though. Like, he called some terrible plays. I'm not going to lie. But ended up figuring it out.
True. Sark will make you feel shitty in a whole different way. Oh wow. Was he wearing a Texas shirt? He bought a Texas ticket? Wow. Good for Lou. Good for Lou. Wow.
Sark is definitely a little petty, man.
Is he alive still?
Just to get y'all's like little like opinions on like the rest of college football today. How do y'all feel about Dan Lanning's speech, his like whole approach to that whole Colorado thing? I, for one, loved it.
I didn't mind it at all. I didn't mind it all. I mean, they backed it up too. Yeah. I mean, they whooped the dog shit out of CU.
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, hey, if it fires up your team to perform like that,
yeah,
do it.
It was. I loved it too. Also because they were fully aware of the stage that they were going to be on, and we'll see what the numbers are. But when you see a team has done 8.8, 9.3 million viewers from a recruiting standpoint, if you're Dan Lanning, this is the biggest recruiting stage I'm ever going to have for my program. I got to put on whatever it is, whatever narrative I'm trying to push. This is the greatest opportunity. That's why he was so aggressive today.
100%.
Right?
Also, them ratings dropped like crazy in the second half. I'm just letting you know, right?
Oh, I know. I know the ratings dropped. 100%.
Yeah.
They'll be back up next week for USC, and then after that, we'll see what happens. But in terms of Dan Lanning and all that, yeah, man, talk your shit. It's football.
Colorado has transitioned into the mainstream when like people were like taking issue with what he was saying. It was just like, oh, I love her so much. Josina Anderson though had like one of the worst tweets in sports history today. She was just like, well, what would he be saying if Travis Hunter was playing? The same exact shit that he said verbatim.
Yeah.
Verbatim. And guess what? The result would be the same exact thing, maybe one score different.
Quincy Avery said that he's not worth a 35. That's not a 35-point liver. I was like, oh boy,
bruh.
He's not lying though. I mean, he's not lying.
Like it's, but the thing is, a lot of those people it's an entertainment business. Overall, it's an entertainment business, and he has brought so many eyeballs to this sport and this is why I'm like this with all sports. Like, don't be a gatekeeper to the point where when you get new traffic into your sport that can help increase the overall popularity, don't be the gatekeeper that pushes them away. UFC people struggle with this. When they have a big star come along, and then you have the really hardcore UFC fans that understand jiu-jitsu and technical, they get mad when casual people, yes, but you also want that traffic to help raise the overall, brand of your sport, so you have the best athletes coming there.
Yeah,
and she deserved to get cooked, no doubt about it. But I'm also like, from a standpoint of what Prime and overall, like, Prime is good for business for everybody.
Prime is amazing for business. I love everything that he's done, and I love the fact that this stage is even like existing because he's here to give that opportunity for that type of thing to happen. Would Dan Lanning have a viral clip of him talking to his team if it wasn't for him playing Deion Sanders today? No. No, not whatsoever. They probably wouldn't even ask for access to their locker room beforehand. It would have been a very boring ass game. Colorado just kicks Oregon just kicks Colorado's ass, and we move on to next week. It'd have been on Pac-12 network, but instead, because of everything that Deion did, it's a primetime game in a big time slot that was probably easily the most viewed college football game of the day. And I don't know. The thing is, though, too, I love the fact that casual fans came into it and like they're just don't understand the college football dynamic whatsoever. And it's just like kind of telling them because the thing is, I'm a huge fan of Coach Prime. I know he's going to do good. I know he's going to do great. I really root for him.
Right.
But also, anyone that watches ball knew that this shit was about to happen. It was like, bro, look at your trenches compared to that's all fun and games, but also week after week, that offense has started to get figured out, as you've seen. And it just today was just kind of funny. Like it just from every aspect. It was pretty funny. And then people getting upset at him, and I was just like, it was our boy Ash on the Spaces. He's like, no, bro, that's lame. Like the fact that he said that, he wouldn't be talking like that. I was just like, bro, if Sarkisian said that, I'd want him to do the exact same thing and more.
Mm-hmm.
I want him to put his foot on his throat on national television and more. I want my coach to be like that. Dan Lanning went way up in my eyes today because that's exactly the type of killer instinct that I want my coach to have. Bro, he's up 42-0 and went for it on a 4th and goal from 5 yards away.
To get the defense set.
Bro, he literally he was about to take a timeout to get the defense set on a key 4th down later on in the game when it was 42-0. Bro, he was trying to send a message. And that's the thing too. We loved when Sark scored 70. Last year when we beat OU 49-0.
Sark got Matt Wells fired.
That's what I'm saying. He got Matt Wells fired. And, bro, last year when it was 49-0, people wanted Sark to put his foot on the throat even more. Dog, I love that. Obviously, be respectful. You know what I mean? I don't have to go do that. But also, you've been talking. When we play Texas Tech this year, if they want to be that bad of a team, yeah. Yeah. I want all that. And guess what? I'm not pulling them until it's really time to pull them. Are we kind of a tween? Is it a 45-10 type situation? Maybe one more drive. I didn't really see enough of Jonte Cook yet. Let's get a little bit more of him in there. Xavier Worthy hasn't really gotten going, and we want to get him in rhythm before we go to this conference championship game. So let's send him on a little stop and go 65 yards down the fucking heart of your defense. Let's just do that real quick. I don't know. That's how I feel. Send a message. It's your last Big 12 game. I don't know. This just gets me excited for the Texas Tech game. I want to send the same message Dan Lanning did to the rest of the country today against Texas Tech at the end of the season in our last regular season Big 12 game. It's a beautiful setup.
That's why the sport is awesome. That's why college football is the way it is. I mean, you have these personal things at the NFL level, but it's very, very different. It's not the same. In this setting, especially with dealing with kids and all the energy and that's there, it's the most unique thing. So I appreciate y'all for joining me. Karen, thank you for jumping on. Tram, thank you for staying 2 hours, brother. You didn't have to do this.
Hey, I think everyone's asleep in my house, so we should be straight.
Yeah, man. On your end, good luck with everything in the morning and the rest of the weekend. But guys, appreciate y'all. Hit that subscribe button, like the video, whole bit. Horns always up 4-0. Let's get it.